What if humanity's first permanent settlement ended not in triumph, but in a cosmic ambush? For decades, we thought civilization began slowly. Hunter-gatherers became farmers. Farmers built villages. Villages became cities. But under the soil of Abu Hureyra lies a story that breaks this script. Archaeologists uncovered microscopic glass droplets formed at temperatures over 2,200 degrees Celsius, hotter than any volcanic eruption, far beyond anything humans could create 12,800 years ago. These spherules, together with nanodiamonds and platinum spikes, appear at dozens of sites worldwide. The same cosmic fingerprint seems stamped on Earth again and again. Some of these nanodiamonds match those found in the asteroid impact that wiped out the dinosaurs. Humanity's first settlement didn't just face climate challenges, it may have been struck from the sky itself. Before destruction, Abu Hureyra thrived along the banks of the Euphrates. Not a camp, not seasonal, a permanent, year-round settlement. Among the earliest on Earth, people harvested wild rye and einkorn long before formal agriculture existed. They lived in long, low huts made of reeds and mud, stored grains, organized labor, and slowly built a stable community. Excavations recovered tens of thousands of plant remains, animal bones, tools, grinders, and evidence of some of humanity's first domestication experiments. Then, suddenly around 12,800 years ago, life stopped. No transitional phase, no slow collapse, just abandonment. What force could make an entire settlement walk away overnight? At the exact moment Abu Hureyra fell silent, the planet plunged into the Younger Dryas, sudden return to Ice Age conditions. Temperatures dropped rapidly. Glaciers advanced, crops failed, ecosystems collapsed. For decades, scientists blamed meltwater floods disrupting ocean circulation. But that does not explain the instant timing, the global synchronicity, or the presence of cosmic materials in the soil. Something external left its mark on both geology and human settlement. The black, mattithin, carbon-rich layer, found from Syria to North America, marks 12,800 years ago. Inside it, three markers stand out. Nanodiamonds formed under extreme shock found at Abu Hureyra and Clovis sites. Meltglass, soil fused into droplets at over 2,200 degrees Celsius. Platinum and iridium spikes, elements rare on Earth but abundant in asteroids and comets. No wildfire, no volcano can explain this. Together, these materials form a clear cosmic signature. A claim this bold attracts scrutiny. Some argue the evidence points to a fragmented comet exploding over the northern hemisphere. Others suggest contamination, wildfires, volcanic sources, or soil mixing. The debate is fierce because the stakes are enormous. Was civilization gradual, or did humanity start again after a celestial catastrophe? Every new discovery at Abu Hureyra raises the tension. Abu Hureyra wasn't alone. Across North America, the Clovis culture, famous for its fluted spear points, vanished almost overnight. At the same moment, 35 genera of Megafauna disappeared, wiping out some of the most iconic creatures to ever walk the Earth. Woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats, American mastodons, and short-faced bears. Forests were scarred by massive wildfires, rivers were choked with ash, and entire ecosystems collapsed. Settlements were abandoned. Big game hunting traditions vanished. Humanity faced a world transformed in the blink of an eye. Ice cores reveal a sharp spike in platinum, while distant sites in South America show matching layers of charcoal and nanodiamonds. European pollen records indicate an instantaneous ecological collapse. This wasn't a regional misfortune, it was a hemispheric catastrophe. The Younger Dryas wasn't just a cold spell, it was a reset button for life itself. Abu Hureyra's abandonment in the Middle East and the Clovis collapse in North America were two sides of the same global calamity. But Abu Hureyra's story doesn't end with its cosmic destruction. Centuries after the first settlement was abandoned, people returned. A new community rose directly on top of the ruins, the second occupation of Abu Hureyra. This time, the inhabitants were not just gatherers experimenting with wild plants. They were full-fledged early farmers. They built sturdier rectangular houses instead of the older round huts. They planted wheat, barley, and lentils. They domesticated sheep and goats. They shaped grinding stones so large that archaeologists can still see the deep grooves left by thousands of hours of labor. It was a rebuilt world, more organized, more agricultural, more civilized. And here comes the fascinating twist. Many of the injuries found in the skeletons of these later inhabitants, especially spinal stress, worn joints, and crushed toes, come from intensive farming work. Grinding grain, repetitive motions, carrying heavy loads. In other words, the second settlement wasn't just a return to normal life. It was humanity stepping into a new age, the age of agriculture, and the heavy price it demanded. The first community at Abu Hureyra had been wiped out in an instant, possibly by fire from the sky. Abu Hureyra has one of the strangest second acts in ancient history. After the cataclysm forced the first settlement to vanish, people eventually returned, building a new, larger Neolithic village on top of the ruins. And here's the twist. This second community became one of the earliest places on Earth where farming turned into a full-scale experiment. They cultivated rye, einkorn, and lentils long before agriculture took hold elsewhere. Almost as if the survivors were trying to rebuild the world from scratch. Even more intriguing is the cultural ripple effect. Technologies first seen in Abu Hureyra: grain storage, ground stone tools, early domestication. Appear later across the Fertile Crescent, the Levant, and even into early Anatolian settlements. It's as though knowledge radiated outward from this single site, carried by people who had already lived through one apocalypse. And some researchers suggest that memories of the first settlement's destruction may echo faintly. In later myths about fire from the sky and worlds ending in darkness, stories preserved from the dawn of farming itself, Abu Hureyra isn't just a ruin, it's a bridge between two worlds, the last breath of the hunters and the first heartbeat of civilization. But the second settlement shows something just as important. Humans rebuilt, they adapted, and they built a new way of life on top of a world that had been burned to ash. Could humans remember this calamity? Ancient flood myths from Mesopotamia to the America stele of fire falling from the sky, darkness at noon, and the world drowning in chaos. Maybe these aren't metaphors. Maybe they are fragments of memory, echoes of falling stars and burning continents. Abu Hureyra stands at the crossroads of archaeology and cosmic disaster. The debate continues, but one truth remains. Humanity survived a catastrophe powerful enough to erase cultures, animals, and entire landscapes. And the ruins of the world's first settlement still whisper what the sky once did to us.